Good day, good day. Today we're gonna do the short income statement, and please you can subscribe. Not you can, but then please subscribe, share, like. Yeah. Okay, let's tackle the question. Today, I decided that I should do the short income statement. I think this is the difficult income statement that you can get because they trying to dribble you, trade you somewhere. So let's make it easy. So let's start. First thing in accounting, you know what to do. Know your financial year end. In our case, our financial year end is at I think 30 June. Yeah, 30 June 2025. So let's start. So we are given the list of balances on the 30th of June before taking into account all the adjustments below. It means these balances do not take into account the adjustment below information B. So they said net profit before taxation was 1,153,150 was calculated before correcting, meaning this was not the correct one. It wasn't the correct one, so hence I said incorrect net profit for the year 2025. So it was, you please forgive me, it was 1,153,150. So this was incorrect. It didn't include this adjustment, or this adjustment. So they said provision for bad debts must be increased by 7,350. So if provision for bad debts increases, it means it is an expense. It is an expense. If provision for bad debts goes up, it means it is an expense. And expense, we know that expenses decrease your profit. Hence, it will be a negative in bracket 7,350. So I hope you get it, because if expenses goes up, profits go down. Hence, I'm saying negative figure. Increased provision for bad debts is an expense. So, two, they said 12,000 of the insurance was contract. No, 12,000 of the insurance contract was for the period 1 July 2025 to 31st of December 2025. And our financial year ends on the 30th of June. And this insurance, like, it was included when calculating the profit here, but then it was outside our financial year. Our financial year ends on the 30th of June, but then this insurance started on the 1st of July to 31st of December, which is outside our financial year. So we have to add it. I'll explain why we add it. So insurance is an expense. So if it's an expense, when we calculate profit, we will decrease it, but then we find out that, like, if we decrease it, it reduces our profit, but then that's not the correct thing. So we add it back because initially we deducted it to reduce our profit because it is an expense. I don't know if you get me. So let me try to explain it again. For the addition, why do we add it and not subtract it? So insurance is an expense. So when we calculated our this profit, we deducted it. So therefore, here we add it back to correct it, and it doesn't belong to our financial year, so we have to take it out. Only take it out because it doesn't belong to our financial year. Hence, add it back. It is for next year. Then we have rent income. So rent has been received for the period 1 July 2024 to 31st of August 2025. Due to the additional storage, the rent was increased by 500 per month for 3 months only, for 3 months only, from 1 May to 31st of July 2025. So it was increased for 3 months only. So I made calculations here just to save time. So if you count from 1 July 2024 to 31st of August, you'll get that the rent was received for 14 months, and we are supposed to receive rent only for 12 months. For 12 months only. It means 2 months was received in advance. So something, income received in advance, it's a liability. We're not supposed to receive it in advance. So we must deduct those 2 months. So if rent was 14 months, then 3 months was increased. It means 11, I said, like, let the rent income be X. So 11 times the rent income, which is X. I don't know the actual amount, that's why I said X. 11X plus 3 times X plus 500, because I don't know the increase. So I said, I don't know the rent, I mean. So X is 3 into bracket X plus 500. If it was a decrease, it would be a minus here, but then it was an increase for 3 months. Hence I said 3 open bracket X plus 500 then is equal to the total rent. Then you distribute, so it's 11X plus 3X plus 3 times 500, so which is 1.5 is equal to our rent. You solve, add like terms, 3X plus 11X, you get 14X. You transpose this to this 1.5 to this side, it will be 105 100 minus 1.5, you will get 103 600. Then you divide both sides by 14, you get X is equal to 7.4. But this is the normal rent, doesn't include an increase. 7.4 doesn't include any increase. So if you want to find the increase, you'll say 7.4 plus 500, which gives you 7.9. This is the rent that includes the increase of 500. But then look at our question. It says it was increased from 1 May to 31st of July. But then our financial year ends on the 30th of June. It means the increase only affected which month? So it was increased on the 1st of May to the 31st of June, 31st of July. It means our increase only affected, like, if we count it, May and June. So it only affected May and June 2025. So it only affected 2 months. So in our financial year, the increase only affected 2 months, which is May and July. May and July. May and June, not July, I mean. So, but we know that we only received rent for 2 months in advance, meaning for August and July. So, but then for July we have an increase, but then for August we don't have an increase because it increased from May to July. For August we received a normal rent. What was our normal rent? It was 7.4 normal rent for August, because we received August in advance, and we also received July in advance. So but then for July it had an increase. You see, increase was from 1 May to 31st of July. So for July it had an increase. So increase was 7.4 plus 500, which is 7.9. Hence I added this is for July, this is for August. So, but then they are two, 1, 2. It means 2 months in advance. So you add them, you get your total rent. So since it was received in advance, we didn't earn it yet. So it was only received, which is an income received in advance, goes to our balance sheet under current liabilities. So in our income, we must deduct it. It's not a profit, we must deduct it, which was 15,300. We deduct it because we received something in advance. We haven't earned it yet. So you can go this was for solve for X. You can go the maths lead way. For the maths lead way, you can count the increase was for 3 months only. So 500 for 3 months. So it's 500 times 3. And this increase was included in 105. So you must deduct it. 105 minus 1.5, you get 103,600. So you go back to the normal. This doesn't include the increase. So if doesn't include the increase, you can divide it by the months you received rent. So 103,600 divided by 14, you get the normal rent, but then you have to account for the increase just to get here. This was just to calculate the normal rent like I did here. So if you don't know, like solve for X, you can go this way, which is quite easier than this one. So, and then we have the director's fees. Director's fees, you have to note, like you have to understand the concepts of accrued, prepaid, for you to know the director's fees, but then I'll explain them in my other videos. So the company, what is our financial year? Like it starts on the, I think if it ends on the 30th of June, it means it starts on the 1st of July 2024. It ends on the 30th of June 2025. That is our financial year. And you can also like use timelines for directors fees. If if they maybe they lose you, if it's you find it complicated, you can use like timelines. So let's do our directors fees. So it's not that difficult. You have to like understand what happened, what did you pay in advance or what didn't you pay. So the company had two directors at the beginning of the financial year. So we started with these two directors. Both directors were not paid their fees for June 2025. So it means we have an accrued expense. We didn't pay them. It's a liability. Goes under these 2 months, goes under your current liabilities in your balance sheet. A third director was appointed on the 1st of February at a fee of 10% lower than the existing directors, meaning 10% lower than our two directors. If these two are paid 100%, this one is paid 90%. That's it. At a fee of 10% lower than the existing directors, and he received his fees for the current year. So we don't owe this one nothing. Now we owe this one nothing because he received his fees for the current year. We only owe these two directors, so we must determine that amount. So we have directors fees. We have how many directors? Three directors. Three directors. Then I like this one makes things easy when you let the normal thing, like here I let the normal rent equal X. Here I let the normal pay of directors equal X, so that you can determine the actual amount of directors. So we had two directors and for 11 months. Why am I saying they end for 11 months? Okay, let's come here. The both were not paid their fees for June. Both. We have two. So it's 2 and for 11 months because they were not paid their fees for June. So we have 2 multiplied by 11 months multiplied by the amount, which I don't know. That's why I'm saying X. So we have 2 times x times 11 times x, which gives us 22x. So it's easy. It's easy. You can think about it if you don't get it. So we had 2 directors. We paid 11 months. We don't know the amount, so that hence I'm saying x. So it's 22 times 11 times x. It's 22x. This is the total amount that we paid in terms of x. Then we have one director who earned for 5 months. If you count from February to June, you'll get 5 months. But this one didn't earn like 100%. He earned a total of 0.9, because if this one's earn 100%, this one earns 10% below, which is 90%. Hence I'm saying 90. This is very, very crucial. Hence I'm saying 0.9 multiplied by the number of months he worked, multiplied by the amount, the normal amount, which is x, that they earned. So hence this one is earning 90%, 10% lower. So if you say 10% lower is 9%, 0.9% multiplied by the number of months multiplied by the normal amount that they get paid. So you get 4.5x. This is the total amount the third director earned in terms of x. So if you combine the total, you get like 22 plus 4.5x is equal to the total on your trial balance, or I don't know, maybe post trial balance on your, yeah. So you get 26x is equal to the 1,126,250. You divide both sides by 22.5x, you'll get 42,500. This is the normal fee. This is the x. Now you know that they were getting paid 42,500,000 normal fee. But this one, if you want to find the pay for this one, for the third director, you'll say 42,500 multiplied by 0.9, but doesn't work. It's not necessary. So remember, we only owe the 2 directors that started with us. So it means we owe this, and those 2 directors were earning 42 when any normal fee. So hence I'm saying, and we owe them for only 1 month, which is June. So 42 times 2, because they are 2, not the 1 director, they are 2. So you get the total amount that you owe to your directors. It means, and this is an expense. Let me write it. We have an expense. So you have to determine what is it, like expense, income, whatever, so that you can know that you have to add or subtract. If it's an expense, it means we owe them. It means we didn't deduct it because we owe our directors. It means we didn't deduct it when calculating our profit. Now we have to deduct it because we owe them. It reduces our profit. So minus 85,000. You must show all your calculations. You can show them in here, like you can show them these calculations. Yeah, then we are done with directors. So then a common figure V, a further 55,000 is owed for income tax on the 30th of June. So we owe a further 55,000. What was our income tax? It was a debit at 235,000. This is our profit for our income tax for 2025, which is 235,000. But then they say a further, it means we owe SARS more. So it was 235,000. Then a further means we owe them more. So I don't know, you get like something like, is it 290,000? Yeah, I think it's 290,000. So you owe SARS 290,000. And in bracket, because tax, it goes out, it reduces your profit. So 290,000. Then you determine the net profit before this income tax and the net profit after tax. Let's do it. So it's 115,150 minus 7,350 plus 12,000 minus 115,300 minus 85,000. So you get 1,057,500. So you get 1,057,500 as your profit before tax, income tax. Then you deduct your income tax, which is 290,000. You get 767,500. That's it. That's it. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like.